Hey everyone, Ray from loveyourrv.com. Just pulled back into an RV park here in Palm Springs to do a little repair on the rig. If you hear something that sounds like sizzling bacon, that's that fountain in the pond. Anyway, when you're out boondocking, the old water heater started to weep a bit and drip, so I had to come back and order a brand new one in to replace it. It's a 6-gallon Suburban, works on electricity and propane. Here's the puppy here. So I'll show you what the problem was. Right now we're on electric and I have no leaks at all. But when I switched to gas usage, I would get a leak coming out of this round hole in here is the burner chamber. So the flame shoots into there and it heats up the metal and then of course heats up your water. Well, when the flame turns on, I get a little leak on it. It's like a little spot weld in there that starts to leak. So I'm not sure if I have corrosion in the tank or if it's just a manufacturer flaw and that weld wasn't done right. But it's funny, it doesn't leak at all on electric. It takes that heat of the burner flame to start the leak. So maybe I'll fire that on and give you a look at it. Okay, hopefully you can see this in here. There we go. So the flame's been on not even a minute and already I'm getting a good leak out of that. So yeah, I'm gonna have to replace the whole unit. There we go, brand new 6-gallon water heater. So I picked it up online. I got it for $3.42. It was about $42 to have it 3 days shipped. Actually came in 1 day. I think it's a place called PPL Motorhomes or PPL Homes. I'm out of Houston, Texas. I'll leave a link in the description. I tried a few places in Palm Springs. One place wanted $530, the other wanted $595. So I ended up getting shipped from Houston for $150 cheaper, but what can you say? So the hookup's going to be fairly straightforward. I just want to caution you, I'm not a certified technician. I'm doing this DIY. Don't recommend it. You could void your warranty, you could burn down your rig. Whatever, you've been warned. So anyway, I'm going to do it. You're dealing with propane, AC electricity, and DC electricity, plus plumbing, so there's quite a mix of things, but really it's pretty straightforward. Everything's pretty well plug in and a few wires need to be soldered. So here is where the gas will go. Just a screw in flare nut connection by the looks of it. Go around here to the DC side of things, 12 volt, and you've got a red wire. That's your power coming in from the switch inside for the gas, and we got a green wire that's ground, and we have a blue wire that's I believe that's power for the light in the switch. So you got 3 wires dealing there. Over here we got a box on the side, and that's your hot and neutral wire coming in for your AC power. The AC switch on this model is down, right back in there. That's the on-off switch, so you don't have to worry about that. Let's go around to the back of the rig. Yeah, you got your hot input and your cold input, and those just screw in. So let's go inside and see what we're going to have to deal with on the inside of the rig to change it. I have the access cover off to where my hot water heater lives. Not hot water heater, just a water heater. Some people get really upset when I call it a hot water heater. Oh well. Never been known for doing proper words. Okay, so In the back here, there's where my water. Looks like I'm going to have to reuse that brass screw in there. And it looks like it needs either some pipe dope or plumbing tape on that. And then the PEX just screws onto that. So that should be easy. I should be able to undo those. Over here, there's my AC coming into it. Should be easy. Here's my control board. Okay, so I think I'll start with draining it, turning off my electricity and propane and water, undoing that. I'll have to undo all the screws on the outside casing and then be able to pull it out and see where we're at. Water heater drained. Also decided to pull the low point drain plugs, try to get as much water out of the system as I can, so when I undo the inside ones I don't have as little water as possible coming out of them. Also popped off the cover. A couple screws holds it on. So now I'm going to go through and just undo all the screws. Handy to have a little screw gun, makes the job easier. So it looks like it's sealed with a combination of butyl tape and silicone. So good old X-Acto knife around the edges, cut the silicone. And this is a handy little tool I carry. Just like a really flat scraper pry bar affair. So then I can get in there and pry it back. We should be able to slide her out. Well, I got the frame out. I guess that's part of the door assembly. I just got to clean up all this old putty and silicone, and we should be able to slide her out of there. Okay, got to pull forward a bit. Now we're going to undo the PEX here and put down a ShamWow just in case I get some dribbles coming out. Oh, that's tight. Took some camera hand muscle to get her started. Nothing there. Okay, so got them both off without so much tiny little dribble. Also did flip the winterizing valve down there, right down there, into winterizing mode. Okay, she should be able to pull out. Got lots of slack on the AC line there. And I'll just unplug this box and the wire should follow out. Give me more room to work. Next I want to undo the gas. Propane tanks are off. So I want to use something to support this piece and then turn the wrench there just so you don't hurt the gas valve system. So there's like a grommet that fits in there where the gas comes through, and then you use some sealant to keep any moisture out of the rig. Okay, got her out. She was a tight fit. Hard to styrofoam a bit, but it's going to be super easy to change because out comes the DC wires with enough slack. Also the AC wire. So should be good. Just got to go in there and clean things up. There's a lot of sawdust and crap left over. So it's a good time for me to inspect everything and clean up everything in there. Okay, yeah, lots of sawdust. Oh look, spare screw. That's good, can always use that. Well, I don't see any mouse droppings or anything like that or any signs of major leaks, so that's a good thing. Let me sweep that out. Maybe I'll just give you a little look in here. One thing I noticed they didn't like is they cut the aluminum frame rail. You think they could have planned a little bit better instead of cutting out a piece of the frame. Anyway, so you can see the plumbing coming in there. You get your hot and cold. This is an electrical box in my storage, and there's a light and a coax cable TV. Over here you can see this thing here, little ducting, that's going down into the basement, so that's coming from the furnace. The furnace lives right next to it here. So that's my basement heating, keep the tanks warm. And then the black is all your propane lines. I got one for the furnace and the stove and the fridge. And then there's an extra one here, that's the one I plumbed in for my buddy heater. So I'm happy anyway. Doesn't look like we got any leaks going on in this part of the RV. Everything looks pretty good. So let's do the wiring on the new one and put her in. I'm also going to have to clean up all around the outside here, get rid of the silicone and the sealant, so I've been cleaning it up so I have a fresh surface to seal to. And it's how the factory hooked up the AC, so I'll just repeat what they did with the new wiring on the AC side of things. On the DC side of things, looks like they used some crimps here, so I'll likely do the same. I might just solder them on the DC side. There we go. So I just repeated exactly what the OEM manufacturer did, Keystone, when they hooked up the pump. So it's all in this metal box and we'll have a cover. I soldered those 3 wires together. I'm not a big fan of those crimps they use. I've seen too many come loose or not get crimped right and cause problems. From my electronics technician days, I just like solder better. So I'm going to just finish up, put the shrink tubing on that and continue on. Almost forgot. I'm going to have to pull these brass connectors off because the new one didn't come with one, so let's unscrew them, thread them into the new one. Well, as always happens, I had a bit of an issue. I couldn't get the bottom brass fixture, the cold one, out. It was just like seized. Luckily though, the hot one came out pretty easy, and it has a small check valve in it, so that's good. This one's just a straight pass-through, so off to Home Depot to get a replacement for that and continue on. Okay, water line's all buttoned up. Let's turn on the pump, let her fill, see if we get any leaks. Looking good, looking good. Okay, let's make sure we got water in the tank. Let's try some of the pressure release out. Okay, good to go. So I'm going to go turn the electric on and see if she'll heat. Checking current coming into the rig, about 4 amps. Let's flick on the breaker. Should see it go up quite a bit. There we go, 15 amps. Cool. Should have hot water in a little while. Okay, so electric working and no water leaks. Now I'm going to check the propane connection. Got some leak detector here. So I'll go turn the gas on and we'll give her a check. Very good soak and look for bubbles forming. Looks like I have a tiny leak there. I'm going to have to redo that, maybe tighten it up a bit. Okay, undid it, cleaned it up a bit and reseated it, and no bubbles this time, so let's have to watch that connection, make sure Now, let's see if we can heat on gas. Check it out. Looking good, looking good. Nice blue flame in there. The odd yellow tips, that's what we're looking for. Like something's burning off a bit in there. Awesome. So, cleaned the leads up a bit, mounted that control board with the sticky thing to the wall there. Looking good, looking good. So I think that'll be it for today. We'll see how it performs overnight and into the morning. If everything looks good, then I'll put the door back on and seal her up, and we'll call her a job. Stay tuned. Well, mission accomplished. The water heater's all fixed up and we're back out doing some boondocking again. Made it over to Arizona. There we go. Just turned it on this morning. Getting some hot water. So I got her all in there, buttoned it all up, sealed it around the edges with silicone and butyl tape. Down at the bottom here, the original had some silicone in this seam here, so I decided to use some of that Eternabond roofing repair tape. I think it'll work out good. All that is the water that ends up down there from the pressure release valve, or if you're draining it, just so it doesn't get into that seam behind there. So I figured out what actually caused the problem. I thought maybe it might have been rotted out from the inside, but I was wondering how that could be possible with all the maintenance I do on that sucker. I'm always cleaning it out. So I got the old one here and I drilled myself out a hole. And if you remember, I took all the parts off it. Inside the burner chamber here, I had showed you where it was leaking on one of the spot welds. So I drilled out a hole just above that spot weld, and sure enough, let's see if I can get it lined up here. Zoom in, you see there? That rusty piece, kind of a bulge. That's the other side of that weld. And so it looks like when they welded that baffle on there, they punctured the wall, and a big glob of the material went to the other side and eventually rusted, and voila, there was the leak. Otherwise, everything else inside the tank looked fine. There was no corrosion at all. It was nice and clean in there. It would have lasted a lot longer. So anyway, hope you found that video useful if you're swapping out your water heater someday. Until next time, it's Ray from loveyourrv.com. Enjoying a nice quiet desert morning here in Arizona. This is actually called the Kofa National Wildlife Refuge. We stayed here a couple years ago and always wanted to return. It's a super peaceful free camping spot between Yuma and Quartzsite. Happy trails!